I immigrated here March of 1997. It was a long process. I came here as a wife of an American citizen. So going through the process, it takes a lot of courage, patience, and sacrifices. Um, we have to be separated for my husband to be able to petition me. He needs to be physically present here in the United States. I think not all, but our case, we have to do that. And I had um, 2.5 year old child when everything, when the process started. We were married 1993, and he petitioned me 1996. I think it took 8 months for the process to go through. The first step is he has to come back here, file the petition, and then I think that's the process. He needs to be physically present here in the United States to be able to petition me. I think that's what happened to us. I'm not really sure about the if it's all of the petition process goes through that. But on our case, he has to be physically present in the United States, and then after that he can go home back to the Philippines while I wait for my papers to go be completed. So he came here, filed a petition. Me and my son were in the Philippines. He was 2 years old, 2.5 years old. So so many papers to fill out. So once he submitted it, the immigration reviewed all the papers. To the most important thing is they have to prove that the marriage was real and the union is real. So it took him took us, like, because we were like thinking of coming back here or just staying back home. But when we decided to come here and immigrate for a better future, so we had to do that, make sacrifices. uh, I received a letter from the visa center that all the papers were submitted and it has been approved, and I have to wait for the papers from the visa center in Manila, Philippines, for my what do you call that, physical examination. I have to go through all chest x-ray to make sure that I don't have any infectious disease, some blood draw, and then that's the first process. After I received the letter telling me that it was approved, I have the priority date and everything like that. So it says in their advice, wait for, if I may repeat, wait for the Manila Visa Center to call you for the physical exam, and then follow the next step. So with that physical exam, they have a specific hospital that you have to go to. It's not just anywhere. So I if if my memory is right, I went to St. Luke's Hospital. That's the accredited hospital of the U.S. Embassy for all tourist immigrants to be physically evaluated if they are qualified to go and visit the United States. Make sure, as I've said, no infectious disease and everything. So the sacrifice there is I have to leave my son behind because I have to go to the big city. The big city will took me 4 hours. No, no, 1 hour flight to the big city. So I'm just lucky enough that my husband had relatives, have relatives in the big city who helped me a lot. Um, we have to wake up. So okay, I have an appointment for the physical exam. You cannot just go there and then walk in and then no. You have to have like the appointment. So we have to fall in line early, very early in the morning. So you get, through the process and everything. You don't have to wait for the traffic and everything, considering Manila is a very heavy traffic city, has a heavy traffic city. Is a heavy. Okay, so we have to wake up early in the morning, fall in line, so be able to get it. Luckily, I'm a healthy person, so I passed the physical exam, and then I have to go for the interview. They have after the physical exam, they have to also send me an appointment for my interview. Also, a long line, guys. I have to go. Oh no, I'm sorry. After the physical exam, I have to go back to the province because I have to wait for my and when will be my interview date. So I have to go back again. So aside from the sacrifices, financial aspects is to be considered, and patience because you have to fall in line, and it's so hot, it's so a lot of mosquitoes and in the waiting area. So the hard part there is the butterfly stomach when you get interviewed. It's a hard process. You have to go physical exam, you have to go interview, not only one interview but a lot of interviews. And then you have to make sure that all the papers, the supporting papers, you carry with you during the interview. Because one missing paper that they will be looking for, they can deny your entry to the United States. So I have to bring marriage certificate that's authenticated. I have to bring applic- a proof that that I'm really married to my husband, that we have a kid, all the papers that they need to. So otherwise, the hard part is seeing your passport given back to you with a stamp denied. So I got interviewed. You just have to be yourself when you get interviewed. Just same as job interview. You are like, you have apprehensions, you have fears, as I've said, you have better anxiety, you don't know what they're gonna ask you. But if you have all the paperwork, and if your all your paperwork are legit, there's no nothing to worry about. So I got interviewed, and then I got a visa. So most of the time, the visa, they'll mail it back to you. They'll mail it. You have to wait for 2 weeks for them to mail the visa back to the province. But on my case, I would say I was just lucky. Maybe the person that interviewed me just have a good heart. So she asked me, when is your flight back to the province? I said, it's going to be tomorrow afternoon because I have a 2-year-old. And I was still breastfeeding Kuya Shan that time. I was still breastfeeding him. Oh, you have a 2-year-old son? Yeah. So I have to leave him to the province. I don't want him to bring him to the city because I don't want him to get sick, blah, 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 blah. And she said, okay, come back tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Get your visa. So it was like, what do you call that? A special case, I would say. A big consideration, or I would say I was lucky. Yeah. So I came back 10 o'clock following morning, I got my visa, and then flew back to the Philippines. So before I flew back here in the United States, I have to go to POEA. POA is a Philippine Overseas Employment Agency. I think I think so. I think that's the acronym, and that's the meaning. So what they do is all all Filipino citizens who's going out of the country has to go through a seminar for a day. So they will give you a briefing on the culture of the country where you're going to, culture shock and everything like that. So they give you like a preparation, emotional, mental uh, aspect preparation for you to go to another country. So because they don't want you to get a shock or cultural shock or anything like that. So then I have to leave again my son. So with that process of immigration, I was I was first time mom. I was breastfeeding my baby. He was abruptly, what I call that, stopped from the breastfeeding. What do you call it? Weaned. He was weaned off from breastfeeding because of the process of me going back and forth. You know, um, so that was really a sacrifice for him also and for me. So it's a hard step. Emigrating to America is a hard step. Very very challenging. It's not easy. It's not easy to emigrate to America. It's going through the process. Coming here, so I have all my requirements ready. So when you and so my husband went home to pick us up, so we can flew back here together in the United States. So I thought everything will be smooth and easy, but it's not. It's not, because you have so many adjustments to make: emotional, mental, cultural. I would say if you are not really you have not developed your strong personality, well, you go crazy. You get shocked from all the abrupt changes coming here. It's different culture, very different culture, and it was a very hard process. So it's not easy coming here. It's hard, and then you get to find a job. You have to start your new life. You will be staying in a in family members' place, and you feel like you are intruding their privacy. You know, it's hard starting a new life in a different country. I'm just lucky that we have a very good family support. So we started our life in my sister-in-law's place in California. I am a nurse, I graduated as a nurse in the Philippines. That's another step to tackle professionally. You're a nurse in the Philippines, registered nurse in the Philippines, but you cannot practice as a registered nurse here in the United States. You have to go through so many examinations to be able to be licensed to practice here. So you have to prepare all the paperworks, but at the same time you have to work so you can sustain the expenses or all the how to start life. You have to prepare for a test while you're working. So, as I've said, I'm just lucky. So my brother, as we started our life in America in California, my brother is in Michigan. Was in Michigan. So he came here as a working visa as a nurse. So because he was petitioned uh, on by a company to work for them, he cannot just move anywhere. On my part, I came here as an immigrant because I was petitioned by an American husband. So I can go anywhere to the United States and can start my life anywhere in the United States. So we decided to come to Michigan to support my brother emotionally. So I would say my brother adopted me and my family to stay with him. So we moved from California to Michigan. We arrived here in the United States March, and then we moved to Michigan July. But I worked as a nursing assistant in California to start with, while waiting for my papers to be approved to take the board exam to be an RN. So as I was doing that, waiting for my all the paperwork for my licensing as a nurse, I work as I've said I was as nursing assistant. But it was a good experience for me. Why? Because with my experience as a nursing assistant and working as a nurse, I would understand how the work of my assistants are. So I can relate to them, I can empathize to them. That was a good process. That was a good experience of how I become now as a nurse. When I worked there from April to June because we moved here July in Michigan. 1997, the same year that I came here. So I stayed with my brother, and my brother asked me not to work. He told me he can support my family. He just want me to study and review. See how good my brother is, how lucky I am to have him, or how lucky he is to have me as his sister. Yeah, but I know it was hard for him. But the thing is, he was still single then. So we stayed in his apartment, me, my son, and my husband. My husband was also looking for a job. And then, but he said, no, help my sister watch the baby while she focused on her review. So, technically, he was the one paying for my driving school so I can learn how to drive here in United States. He he supported us. He was the one who supported my family, so I can just study and review. And then I took the test. I passed the test, and I worked. Work. There is also adjustments. You have to adjust with different personalities that you work with, the culture of the people, and the people that you take care. Coming from different country, taking care and working with people with different culture is also hard. There's a language barrier. There's everything. Language barrier is the number one culprit. Sometimes they cannot understand me. They have like some colloquial expression. They'll tell me, read my lips. And then when I said, I did not see no wordings in your lips. It's not a blood, it's a lip. So, is a major decision. There is like an ambivalent feeling. Coming here for what? For good life? Can I just stay on my mother country? Yes, I can. We can live. But we were thinking about the future of the children or of my child. It's not really for me alone. It's not really for me and my husband alone, but more so to the future of my child. Because we can see like a good future for a kid to come in here in America. They were all excited. As I've said, I have one brother that came here first. He was one of those who encouraged me to come, considering that nurses have a good future here. We have jobs anywhere. My family too, my dad was also here because he remarried. So my brother and my dad were here. Two siblings were left in the Philippines. So they also encouraged us to come here because everybody in the mother country thinks that if you come to America, you will have a good future. The thing is, when I first came in here, I looked through the window of my sister-in-law's house and I said, this is not what I thought about America. Because what I thought about America is like in the movies. But when you are on subdivision, a residential subdivision, this is a lonely place. Where are the people around? There's no people walking. Everybody is, it's so quiet and it was so lonely that I wanted to go home. Because in the Philippines, you can see people everywhere. The presence of my child and my husband has eased that loneliness though. The loneliness probably is more on the people that's left behind, that were left behind. My brother, my sister, my cousins, my friends. I cannot just go anywhere, to talk to people. We were just like contained, and we cannot go anywhere because we didn't have no cars. We don't have nothing. We just started our life. Yeah, but prayer helps a lot. Yeah, you cannot evade those stuff. Like you feel discriminated in a way that you feel probably it didn't mean to those people who treat you like that, but being you as an immigrant or new to the place, you always have that feeling. Anywhere, everywhere, then and now. It cannot be denied. You always feel that. And there is always that. I don't think it will go away. I don't think it will go away. It will always be like that. But the thing is, you as a person, it's up to you how you handle the situation. You know, it's up to you how you handle the situation. Okay, you mean to say upbringing?
Yeah.
Upbringing of a kid growing up in the Philippines? Two-way different. But on my case, I instill to my son, I know, not really instill, but I incorporate to my child Philippine culture and the influence he got from the American culture. That's how I raise him. Two cultures. So when he was growing up, I didn't want him to forget the dialect or the language that his parents grew up with. So I made it a point for him, trying the best I can, for him not to forget the dialect. So we made a rule at home to speak the dialect inside the house, so he will not forget. He was 3 years old then, when he moved here. And then I think I'm successful in that matter because he has not forgotten the dialect. He can speak the dialect, he can understand the dialect, though the deep words he'll ask, what's the meaning? But when we go home for vacation, he doesn't have a hard time communicating with the people because I incorporated the Philippine culture that I grew up with, and the culture that he has learned, or he has, what they call that, adapt here as he grew up. It's been good because it's a different way of bringing your kid. But the thing is, I I put so much weight on the spiritual development of my child. Because if you don't let them forget that, no matter how influence or factors outside outside of home, uh, or whatever stress or what you call that one, influences, if you instill on your child the presence of God and Christ, they'll be strong to fight those temptations and, outside, whatever is outside, because this is a crazy world wherever you go. I'm a short Filipina with American culture now that I'm here in America. Yeah, that's why they always love it. Yeah, but most of the time I am mistaken as a Mexican American. Yeah, everybody thought mm, sometimes maybe because of the mixed culture of the Filipinos. Sometimes they thought that I'm a Native American. Because one time somebody asked me, not only my time, many times, my patients asked me, "From which tribe are you? Which tribe are you of the natives?" Yeah, yeah, that's me. Yeah, I can be mistaken as, I don't know why, Mexican American, uh, American Indian. American Indian are the natives, right? Sometimes they think that I'm a Chinese. So, okay, what I hope for? I hope for early retirement. Yeah, because you know what? Remember I mentioned my goal of coming in here. My purpose of coming in here is for my kid to have a better future, right? I have only one child. He's already done school. He can live on his own. He has a good job. I think I did my part as a parent. I sent him to school with no loans because I did three jobs while he was growing up, preparing for his college. So at this point of my time, I'm satisfied with what I have. I don't wanna. I don't do overtime. I work. I don't know. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to enjoy life and retire. Honestly speaking, yeah, because I hope to see my future grandkids healthy. Yeah. So I think I'm in my point of life that I would say satisfied with what I have. I don't crave for more lavish life, you know. I can live by just working minimal hours. If I'm a simple person. I can eat 3 times a day. I can enjoy life. That's it. I don't crave for more. I'm not materialistic. I don't buy expensive stuff. Yeah. That's just my personality. Yeah, because that's my goal. My goal was for my son's better future. Now that he is, as I've said, able to, now that I have given him the good life, I hope he has a good life. I believe so. The good life that I believe he has right now. Then I'm done. I'm done with my responsibility as a parent. Yeah, because that's just my main reason of coming in here for my child's better future. And I have given it to him. So I'm good. I'm good. Actually, I'm really good. Yeah. I don't wish for a big house. I don't wish for expensive stuff. Mm, what makes me happy is spending time with family. That's it. You know, our game night makes me happy. Laugh, sing. I don't even go shopping because of COVID. I just stay at home. I enjoy gardening. I enjoy fixing the house. This one, I did everything. Fixing everything. Yeah, that's my happiness. I travel. Yeah. So that's what I'm hope for. Early retirement. Hopefully in the next 3 years. For the Filipino community here first, I hope that they'll not forget where they come from. I hope that they look where they come from. Don't forget where you come from. There is uh, saying in Tagalog, ang hindi lumingon sa pinanggalingan ay hindi makararating sa paroroonan. What does it mean? You have to look back to get through. Yeah. So that's what I hope for our Filipino community. And share to the people that's left behind who needs help. Our brothers and sisters who are in the mother country who are struggling, especially because of the COVID right now. Yeah, that's what I hope for the Filipino community here. I hope for a better future in the Philippines. I hope for and I pray for a good governance. Um, that somebody will lead the mother country to have a good life. Filipinos to have a good life. No corruption, no stealing, because it cannot be denied that politicians in the Philippines are known for that corruption. Um, that's what I hope for and pray for. That we can, somebody can really, really, really feel for what our country needs, and for our Filipino community here to look back and extend help to our mother country. No, I don't have regrets because um, when I decided, I stayed focused. There might some bumps along the way. That's part of the challenge. Wherever you go, whatever you do, there are challenges in your life. No regrets. Maybe there is some um, feeling of loneliness from that my two siblings are still left behind. Yeah, but that's not a regret. No. My principle in life is when you decide on doing something, before you do it, as I've said, pray, enlightenment, guidance, and if God puts you there, it means to say you are destined to be there. That's my opinion. So no regrets. I take everything as a challenge, and to improve your life and to make the best out of it. Hi, I'm Nana, and I am a proud Filipino American.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, the JJ Search, coming at you with another video. I just want to give a quick shout out to Nana. Thank you for saying yes to the interview and for sharing a lot of your story. I really appreciate it. Also, don't forget to check out the documentary Generation 1 and the other interviews conducted for this project. Links in the description down below. Anyways, make sure you give a like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a video. Don't forget to share this video as well. And this is the JJ Search signing out. Thanks for watching.